All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. We are well on our way on actually making a very good return on this 2003 Honda Recon. Order of parts came in. Christmas is over. Shipping was kind of a problem, but yeah, I like to take these projects and kind of break them down in steps or phases. For me, the most exciting one is can I get it running? And we did that last video. We got this up and running, and I kind of made a list in that video and on paper of what all we needed to get it ready to go to market, and ultimately that's what we're going to do with it. It's really a solid machine. I haven't had the opportunity to ride it yet, but hopefully by the end of this video we will. So with the things, if you missed that video, I encourage you to go watch it. This machine floated in water for 2.5 weeks as a result of a hurricane we had here back in May. This thing was flooded and set for 6 months while the gentleman fought with his insurance company and ultimately bought another machine and decided to sell this one. And so if you can go back and watch that video, I think you'll enjoy it. So this is phase 2, step 2, phase 2. This is fixing the problems that we found in the first video, and we're going to start dressing it up, getting it ready to go to market. With that being said, we've got a battery, which is pretty heavy. Pick that up with one hand. This machine needed a steering stem bushing. You can pick those up online. They're relatively inexpensive. Nothing on this machine was terribly expensive. It was a lot of $20s and $30 here and there to really take it over the top. I didn't show you installing the master cylinder here on the front. I've done those many times. It's literally 2 bolts and then a brake line. We took a chance on this one. These Recons are known for the worst brakes ever. They're actually a hydraulic drum brake. They're not disc brakes. They're drums down on the wheel side, and you get a hydraulic master cylinder up top. These Matty or Mate, I don't know how they say it, master cylinders, I keep them in stock. They're like $13 a piece when you buy a couple of them, and so I buy a couple of them. And so I ordered 2 more, and so now I have them in stock again. I went ahead and put it on, but I literally bled the line, and the brakes work perfect. I know you can't see that wheel turn over there, but over here this wheel turned and stopped. It's got really good brakes on the front. The back brakes, they seem to work. So after putting a master cylinder on it, I needed to go ahead and I put a CDI on it. That's what ultimately killed this machine from being underwater. We're still waiting on parts. We're still waiting on our starter relay. That's key to making this machine easy, and that's what people want. People want turnkey, push button ATV, and that's what we're going to give them. We've already got a great seat. It does need to be cleaned off. I did pressure wash this, believe it or not. I did pressure wash it. I think it's going to take some hand scrubbing. I really do. Some of this stuff is just kind of cooked into it, but take a look at it. You'll see that it's a lot cleaner than it was in the previous video. Just getting all the little bits and pieces clean like it should be. Battery well, and the frame and everything just looks so much better. I went ahead and thought ahead, and while I was working, look how much rust are on these 2 standoffs for these bushings. So I was really kind of concerned about that. I went ahead and soaked them down with PB Blaster, and they've been soaking for a couple of days. I've even broke them loose. So as you can see, we're not going to have any problems putting that on. The frame still looks really good. I'm going to do something that, kind of preventative. I know a lot of y'all up north, y'all actually undercoat y'all's vehicles because of the salt and the snow and rust and keeping all that at bay. I think this would be a good candidate, considering its history, to really kind of coat it as well with like a WD-40 or something, to keep the water and the rust at bay and to keep all that down. Yes, we could come in here and paint this, but then you're going to have overspray everywhere. It's going to look like you're hiding something. That's not what I'm trying to do. I just want to kind of keep this from going any further. It's all surface rust. There's no rust through or rot on this machine. We just want to slow this process down and not let it get any worse. So I'm literally going to throw a can of WD-40 at this thing and just coat everything underneath it, just to give it some level of protection and to stop that rust from going any further. Tires look really good. I'd be happy to take this to market with these tires. This is the first flip. I'm not going to have to reupholster the seat. But while we're here on the front, let's talk about this rack. Apparently this front rack is a deal breaker if you're under 30 and a must if you're over 40. So that's how you can tell if you're old or not. Do you want a front rack on your utility machine? I don't know. This guy threw everything at it under the sun. We got clamps here. We got some U-bolts, which I'm sure that ruined a lot of things. By the way it's beat down and rotted out, I don't think it was on this machine its whole life. It probably came off another machine and he put it on this machine. I think the rust that shows on this rack is a lot older than the machine itself. So I think it's just an older rack. I think we can do better than that. We've got zip ties in here. We've got clamps and U-bolts. I'm going to cut all this loose. I'm going to take the rack off and we're going to reattach it with some proper U-bolts. But I also want to take the opportunity to wash the machine underneath it. You know, it could even be one of those things where you just don't put it back on and include it in the sale. And that way you could take pictures with it without the rack. And maybe, you know, open yourself up to a younger buyer that doesn't want the rack or an older buyer that does. If I had to guess, a rack this size and this robust, he probably put firewood in it and run back and forth to the house, maybe chopping wood down or something like that. The guy was kind of an off-grid kind of guy. So I wouldn't be surprised that if he wasn't running firewood back and forth from the woods to the house or something along that lines. I have a feeling he put something pretty heavy in here to push this expanded metal out of the bottom. But again, I think we can just do better. So I'm going to end up probably taking all these clamps off and getting rid of that. All right, what else came in the mail? Let's see. This was something that just needed to get replaced. I didn't even know if you could buy it or not. Look at that. That's nasty. I would not want to breathe through that. So you can actually go online and you can get a replacement air filter with new container as well. So that was a win there for like 20 bucks. You get both pieces. So we don't have to reuse this. We can we could recycle that and get rid of that. Alright guys, a couple hours of little elbow grease. I mean, that really, the looks of this machine really what sells it. We are still waiting on our starter relay, but you can jump it with a screwdriver. We've done that before on three-wheelers. It starts right up. I just rode it. Shift's fine. Remember, it's a foot shift. This is a highly sought after, you know, on one hand it's the base model, but on the other hand, the electric shift causes people so many problems. It's just better to learn how to shift with your foot. You still no hand clutch, so you know it's as easy as you can get and still be rock solid, dependable. One of the reasons why I bought this one was because it was foot shift. The 250 is just a great platform. Young kids, adults that aren't looking for high horsepower 4x4 ATVs, something to just kind of tool around the yard, work with, hunt with. I love the color. I've said it before. It's just a dang good looking ATV. The group of people that I want to market this to could go either way. A young person would want it just because it's not going to be that expensive. Or with the rack, you could sell it to an older person that, you know, is going to use it like a little tractor or a little truck. They're going to haul firewood and tools and things like that. And that basket on the front would certainly help with that. So I'm not sure. I'll probably take pictures with and without the basket. And then when I sell it, the basket goes with it. They can put it on, or I can put it on for them. All in right now, we are looking at $500. That is an amazing purchase. We paid $375 for the machine. I'm on the 4th oil change. That's almost $35 in oil right there. I just rode it, got really, really hot, and it smoked for about 10 minutes to get all that water and condensation out of the muffler, and then it blows. It's clear now. There's no smoke at all. That's what it needed, was to get really hot and to burn out all that contaminants, if you will. While it was still hot, I brought it in, I dumped the oil again, that making the 4th oil change. It's good to go. I would still probably want to change the oil again after, say, the first 100 hours, just to be on the safe side. But I think I'll let the next owner take care of that. Just the stem steering, bushing, it's not hard. It's two 12mm bolts. The hard part is getting to them. I found that the wrench, you know, you can go from underneath or you can go from the top. I went to remove this little plastic guard right here on the top. No, not going to happen. Even with a JIS screwdriver, those screws are rusted in there. I didn't want to break them off because not having that hood on there, it looks bad. So that's a win, guys. That's how we afford to build another one. Is we'll make a little profit on this one, and we'll pass it on to the next machine that need more love. And so I've been working on the ATC 90 over there. You see it, the tank is soaking, and I'll just kind of give you an update on that. I rode it, and it just wanted to pull all kind of wonky ways. And what I realized was this wheel was on backwards and bolted on, and the offset was wrong. So it sucked this wheel in really far. And then this wheel was mounted to the wrong side of the hub. I don't know how they did that, but they did. I had to beat it off the axle, flip it around, and now we got our wheels on the proper way. But yeah, I rode it. It still needs some more tuning. We do have a front tire there on it now, and that's coming up in our upcoming video. But check that out. That's a dang good looking four-wheeler right there. Like I told you earlier in this video, I just went around, and while the machine was running, I had it parked in front of the fan. I didn't paint anything, but this is WD-40, and I just went around and just kind of coated everything. It just looks better. It's going to last a lot longer than spray bomb painting it. And it's going to give it a layer of protection. It will dry. We know that it will dry as the WD-40 soaks into the metal, but this was all rusty colored up here. I'm not going to paint it. I'd rather just keep its natural patina like it is, but I do want to try to protect it, and that's kind of where we're going with it. WD-40 works really good on these front mud flaps. I use 303 on the seat because I don't want the seat to get slippery. I use Simple Green on all the plastics, but on the black plastic, when they're dried out, I feel that they need some kind of oil put back into them. And so WD-40 was the way to go for that. So WD-40 down the racks, the suspension, everything that was kind of underneath it, not the exhaust. And I really think it shows really well in person and on camera. Two more things I'm going to do before we sell it. I'm going to put some new grips on it. I just think that'd make it really nice for the new owner. And then the relay in the back. And other than that, I think we're done with this one. I think 2000, and it's not a 2003. The guy sold it to me. It's actually a 2001 right there. So 2001 Honda Recon, just a great machine. Watch this. I'll show you how easy it is to start. Even without the starter relay. All right, there it is, 2001 Honda Recon. I'll put the relay in it, and before we put it to market, in the hand grips. But that's it. I think it's ready to go. Y'all are going to see a couple of machines come to market. I'm getting positioned, if you will, for tax return season. That's coming. You know, there's a couple of things from buying and selling. Christmas is not generally a good market for these types of vehicles. People are buying toys and presents for other people. They're not out buying four-wheelers for themselves. So best times to sell ATVs is going to be tax return season, spring and summer, early fall for hunting. Those are your three times that you want to get your product to market if you're working on ATVs. As always, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good day. We'll see you later.